Welcome to a new video. This is Glad Loser, and in this video, I'm doing my merge kind of like winner rankings, I guess is the right name for it. Got the idea from Once Upon an Island. He does this stuff usually every season. I don't know if he's done one yet this season because I've been dodging all his videos for this whole season. I don't want to get spoiled, and he is really good at guessing things. So that'll be a fun thing to watch once this season is done. But today I've ranked every player left in Survivor 44 on from 12 is least likely to win, and number 1 is who I think is most likely to win. Hope you enjoy. And the really only main thing that is interesting about these rankings in particular is that I have them in kind of 4 separate tiers. Dead last is dead last. It's the only one in that tier, and it's the only person who I think has no chance of winning right now. Then there's I has a chance, but I heavily don't think they're gonna win, which is 11 through 8. 7 through 4 is people I think have a chance of winning. I just don't think it's happening. And 3, 2, and 1 are who I think will probably win. Hope you enjoy. Let's get into it with number 12. We have Matt. Yeah, Matt's not winning. I don't see a reality where Matt wins because unlike several other people who at least get screen time like Matt or who don't get screen time, their screen time isn't shown as negative as Matt has. Like Matt has been shown always being made fun of in the edit. Everyone, from the looks of it on his tribe, no one takes him seriously. And even if Matt makes it to the end, he's gonna be seen as just Franny's sidekick, kind of. Like he's in a duo, and he's the less of the two in the duo. I don't see how Matt wins. He's just not taken seriously. And it's not even like he has like an idol or anything to help him or advantage. Lost he still has no vote that merged tribal. And he in fact has a fake idol that he thinks is real. And may I say everyone is on his tribe thought was real. And that's his probably only positive and negative thing he has. Matt is not winning. He's gonna get dragged to the end by the end, probably. And I don't think he's gonna get any jury votes right now. Something big will have to happen for Matt to even have a chance of winning. And I still don't see him. Matt's game is just too flawed pre-merge for anyone to put him high. He's been constantly made fun of and hasn't had a positive. The only slight positive was that they were gonna vote Franny out because of that idol. But in the merge, they risk idol flushes all the time. And Matt doesn't seem like the type of player to try holding his idol for multiple votes. So I see Matt going home early. Early merge. Actually, no, I don't see him going home. I take that back. I see him being dragged to the end as a 0 vote finalist. Maybe 1 or 2 votes as pity, but I don't think Matt has a single chance of winning. So I put him at the bottom. Even though I love Matt, like don't get me wrong, he's a nice guy. It's just he's not winning this game. And I'll put everything on that. I'd bet on it that Matt loses this game. Now at 11 and 10, these two players both suffer from a similar problem. But at number 11, I have Lauren, who really is only this far low because of how little we've seen her. Lauren has barely been in the edit, barely in the show, isn't in any main storylines as far as we could tell. And the only thing I have really on Lauren was that people don't trust her as much because of the first episode's premiere. I don't have anything else on Lauren. We don't, other than she kinda is bad in challenges. Do I think Lauren could? I don't know actually. I don't know anything about Lauren, like I said. Like she could get close to the end and voted out. She could be dragged to the end. She could be voted next episode at the merge. I don't know. So I have to put Lauren down low because I just don't know anything about Lauren. I have nothing on Lauren. So, which is funny because I still think she's not dead last. Like, Lauren, I feel like could play a good game if we only got to see that game. But at the point right now, she's just not there. So I have her at 11. And at number 10, we have Heidi, who suffers from the same problem as Lauren, where we just don't see Heidi, but we've seen more of Heidi than Lauren. And like she's barely on screen, but she's in a good spot in the game right now. Like she's not really a threat to go home from my vantage point at least, or my viewpoint. And that's good, but like I said, I just don't see that much of Heidi. And to the edit standpoint, it seems more like Heidi's a sidekick to Danny than an actual winner, you know? Like I could see her going far and like getting votes at the end, or I see a path for her to win. I haven't seen her. I see her path, but I don't see her enough to give her a high ranking. So I put her at number 10. I did debate putting her higher than 9 and 8, but in the end, she just landed 10. Because I just don't know Heidi that well. And like that one round where round 3 is round 3. No, it's yeah, round 3. She kind of proved she isn't that like quick thinking and stutters on decisions. Where she didn't decide to backstab Danny, but then was gonna backstab Josh the next episode. So we're at a point where I just don't know if Heidi has it in her to make the move she needs to. As the merge goes on, could I see her evolving into a winner at it? Maybe. But at this point, I don't see Heidi winning. And that's it. Now, at number 9, we have Brandon, who recently in the last episode, when this video is coming out, got some screen time. But in even when he wins the advantage, he is barely shown. Like this is the most screen time he's gotten since the premiere, and it was barely anything. He just basically talked to Danny. And that's also why he ranks so low. Like he ranks low because of like most of this bottom lack of screen time. And the recent screen time he got wasn't that positive because it showed him only talking to Danny and then exiling Carolyn, which you never do on Survivor. You never exile anyone. And even that, it's seen more as Danny's thing, but Carolyn's gonna see it as both of them just ignoring them, ignoring her. And that even gets to this other point where why Brandon ranks higher, even though he's playing dumb, like he doesn't have any advantage. He's going to be a big threat because he's a big physical guy. But at the same time, that's his only advantage because he does seem to have built some sort of connection with Danny that could flow at the merge and help him. And that's why he's ranked 9. Like, I don't think he's going to win, but I see that he's gonna make it far at least with Danny if that alliance does pan out, and then with that, it could evolve into a branding winning game. There was also we saw like his backstory, kind of. Like, we saw a part of his real life that they love doing, and that could be part of his winner edit if they did have Brandon win. So, little moments here and there help Brandon make it not near the bottom and up towards people who I don't think are winning. But Brandon made a huge mistake excelling a player, and I can't put him high because of it. At number 8, last in the tier of probably not winning, but they have a chance. We have Kane, who I thought was going to be way lower than he ended up being. And that's mostly because, besides the premiere, he's gotten a pretty nice edit, I would have to say. Like, besides first and second episodes, he's come off as actually not that bad of a guy, unlike his first and second um, episode appearances. So, with how kind of positive his edit's been, I do see a path to Kane winning, especially in the last few episodes where it's only been positive about Kane. And unlike most people below him, we've seen Kane, surprisingly enough. Besides, like, the premiere, like I said, which was his worst showing, I've actually seen Kane. We saw his interaction with Carson coming to his tribe, unlike others. And we saw him build a bond with Carson, unlike others on his tribe. So I really think Kane could do good. And didn't think that originally. I thought Kane was going to get voted out in his first appearance, but he's surprisingly gone through the game pretty well. And I wouldn't be surprised if Kane had a stellar merge and won the game because his edit backs him up. And yes, it's mainly his edit pushing him top of the bottom, but he still is top of the bottom. And sometimes that's all you need to be in order to win Survivor. And with that, we are now into the kind of good tier. They have more of a chance of winning. Still probably won't, but it's fairly possible. Like, it's sort of bad edits, but not the worst in the world, you know? Starting with number 7, Jam Jam. Yay! So not Jam Jam is very interesting, mostly because of how he's been portrayed. Because we've seen a lot of Jam Jam, which put him in this tier, but it hasn't all been positive. Like, every time he loses power, he gets all, like, cranky and the worst person to be around. But when he's in power, he's the best person to be around from what we've seen and the most likable. But at the same time, there's always that when he loses, he has a whole hissy fit. So I can't put him high. But at the same time, again, he keeps finding himself in power, and that can't only be luck. There has to be some skill involved for him to keep finding himself in the power position. Because he did it several times. Well, in fact. So I think he could go far. I see him going far with most people. But I don't think he could win as much as others. Which is interesting because he still makes number 7. Because there is the path of a Jam Jam victory. It just, I don't know if we're on that path or not. And he's too, like, he's represents the middle of the road here of lots of bad things shown, lots of good things. Like, he doesn't seem like a bad player. He just seems Well, he does seem like a bad player, but he doesn't seem like a completely bad player. Like he's someone who can win, but it would have to be this season or just perfectly made for him. So he made seventh. Sixth place, we have Jamie, the person I dislike most, but I gotta give it. She does have a pretty good chance of winning. But at the same time, like Jam Jam, she has her flaws in her game. Mostly that the edit seems to be building up to her downfall. Like she keeps bringing up she has two idols, and you know that that's going to be her downfall. And I can't wait to see it. It just I if it's not her downfall, then she does have a pretty good chance of winning. It just like with that idol, she does have some of the most power in the game. It just they keep building up those two idols. I think she's going home with either one with one real idol or gonna play the wait, no, she can't play the real idol. Yeah, no, never mind. I feel comfortable putting Jamie here. I forgot her idol expired. She only has that fake idol. And the only thing keeping her at six now is her pretty decent edit with her being shown. Not well, but shown. And then obviously she is in a good spot in the game though. She isn't being targeted by anyone in particular. Merge, probably. Maybe by Tika. Not Tika, not Soka might target her, but eh. I see Jamie in a pretty decent spot. Don't think she's gonna win, but I have to give it to her. It does look like she is one of those who has more of a winning path than most. I should have put her lower because I didn't realize about the idol, but it's only so much you can do. Plus, her talking game is good. I forgot what it's called. Social game. There it is. Why did I want to say talking game? Yeah, you know what I'm good at? Talking game. See the path for Jamie. It's a rocky one. She's still been shown though more than most, so I gotta give it to her that she deserves to be up. And it's not god awful edit like Matt's been getting, so six is pretty good. And at number five, surprising enough, is Franny. So I did not think Franny was gonna rank this high, but she's had a pretty good game. Besides that one time when she was gonna be the vote instead of Matt because of fear of the idol and trying to flush it, she hasn't really been a target. Besides, like the only thing is always being talked about. Oh, Franny's gonna have a target for having Matt in the game, but it hasn't really had a payoff, and she's distanced herself enough from Matt, like as we saw with Jamie, where Franny could be really good going into the merge and does have a strong social game, even with Matt being there trying to ruin it. And like I said, Matt's seen as number two in the alliance, which makes Franny number one. Another point in her cap for her being on a tribe that's only lost once. She's playing a really good game for her trying to kind of being at the bottom. And the edit has shown her flaws, but that's always only a positive in Modern Survivor. They love showing flaws of their winners, and that's puts another cap in Franny's hat. She's playing an amazing game right now and deserves a high placement. I don't have much to say on Franny because it's not many negatives. Her only negative really is Matt. And I guess maybe her being a target, but even then, like she's trying to play from the bottom too. Like try. We've seen that she's willing to make moves with the Claire vote in round three. And that's always a point in someone's cap. If we know they're willing to make moves trying to get in power, we know they might do it later, unlike followers from the past of Survivor. So I only have positive things for Franny, besides the big negative in Matt, and Matt single handedly puts her probably in fifth, which sucks for Franny. But I could gladly see Franny making it to the win, and I wouldn't even be that sad. Her edit backs her up well enough. Fourth place, we have Josh. Now, I don't know if it's personal bias because I really like Josh or just gut feeling, but I feel like Josh has a good path to win. Now, the interesting thing is, at the same time, I feel like he could go during the merge episode and prove me wrong. I don't know, but I feel high on Josh because besides the first few episodes, even the episode he nearly goes home in, we've seen a lot of Josh. Probably because he's almost gone home every episode since. But even like that first episode where he wasn't shown, where he was going home. Well, not where he almost went home. There it is. In that episode, we barely saw Josh, but since we've seen a lot of Josh, even when we don't need Josh, you know? And Josh seems like a smart guy, you know? He has that alliance with Carolyn, and sounds like he's gonna have an opening with Danny and Brandon. Not for sure, though. He might distance himself from that alliance. But he sounds smart, unlike other players on this list. Like, he sounds like he knows what he's doing. And that, like, he's not being targeted for being weak like some pre merge players. He's being targeted because he's already a threat. And that's a bad thing, but at the same time, if everyone thinks it, eventually they'll just think that's Josh. It's like Tony from Kageyan. Everyone thought he was suspicious at first, but then he turned out to be one of the best winners. Like, let's analyze the main thing that got Josh this high, and that's his idol knowledge that he knew he had to play it and successfully played it, and then got it out a bigger threat to him and Sarah, a more under the radar one than Jam Jam would be. That's a smart move, and it's sort of Carolyn's, but it's also Josh because Carolyn didn't tell him to play the idol. Like, he has game knowledge that can help him. And I don't know why. I feel like Josh is gonna win. Even if the edit somewhat disproves me. Even his dysfunctional edit though could help him because last few winners have had weird edits. So yeah, I think Josh will win, but I think three people will win more than I think Josh will win. So I think he has a good chance, and I was surprised too to see him make fourth, but I feel comfortable with having him fourth. Number three, we got Danny, who has become one of my personal favorites of the season. He's just really entertaining to watch, and backs it up with a pretty good game. Where Danny, basically after the first vote he went to, has taken almost complete control of his tribe. No one on his tribe sees him as a threat, and that's partially Danny's strategy. He didn't want to be a threat. We saw last episode that Danny's trying to form an all male alliance. So, using the shield strategy invented by Jeremy, which is great to see for someone like him who is going to be a bigger threat. And great for Danny, like many others. He seems to have a very good social game, like I said. He took control. But the problem is, like, he's been shown the most probably out of everyone on Soka. He found an idol. He made Matt find a fake idol. And every plan he's done so far has worked, which is why Danny easily made top three. But you do see flaws in his game. Like I said, he started making that male alliance to shield himself. But in the process of trying to get that going with Brandon, he kind of sidelined Carolyn, which you never do in Survivor, no matter who. Always use every person you have. And even in his tribe, where he's basically in power, it's not always like that. Because Franny tried doing a coup against him that nearly worked if Heidi didn't go with Danny and Josh. But at the same time, you got to realize how many people Danny has in his pocket. He has Heidi. He might have Josh. Brandon seems like he's gonna work with Danny. He has Matt and Franny looped in with him for the moment. He just has so many cards. But like there's someone who beats him and he hasn't even met yet. So I think it's gonna come down to how Danny plays the merge to really decide his game because he has a good game. It just I can't tell if these flaws are gonna catch him in the end or if he's gonna squeak by with a victory. Because his flaws in his game are very transparent. And I think Danny's guaranteed at least final five. So I don't know if he'll be able to crawl himself to the end with people who aren't going to be bigger threats than him. But I feel confident in him being top three. And number two, we have Carson. Yeah, I bet I fooled you. You thought Carson would be number one? Guess what? He might have a perfect edit. He might be aligned with everyone he's ever met. He might be just the most lovable underdog you've ever seen. But he will not win this game. Because no winner ever gets a perfect edit, especially in Modern Survivor. His edit is too good to win. There's no flaws in it, and it's just impossible to win. It's never gonna happen. I don't even have much to say about Carson. He has to be top two. He should be number one, but his edit's way too good to be true. And it's all gonna unravel apart at the very end. He's gonna go fourth or fifth, and whoever takes Carson out will win this game. That is a fact. And at number one, it's the one, the only, Carolyn. Now, Carolyn does have kind of an unconventional edit, but when you think about it, every plan she's done has worked. She has played a phenomenal, if not the best pre merge game in the season. Even if her name is always brought up, she has been in power at every single vote she has gone to, except the first one. That's pretty insane to think about for someone who's constantly being brought up as the side vote, the expendable one in Alliance, if you will. Carolyn will win this game and have one of the weirdest winners to ever win. This is just Marianne again, except weirder and better. Carolyn will win, and I bet everything on this. So far, nothing really that wrong has been in her game, and even though it seems weird, it's like Mike Gabler said it. He won even though no one thought he would, and that is Carolyn. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.